Hey guys, welcome to Picksburgh. This is Anthony. This is another Commute with Cards.
I'm from the city is due. I'm from the city is due.
I am on my way to a card show out in Hartville, Ohio, and I was just thinking about cards as I do. So without further ado, if you guys are into this kind of thing, make sure you subscribe, hit that thumbs up so that way YouTube knows that this type of thing is for you. And let's get into the topic today. So really what I want to talk about is, are auction houses killing comps? Are they straight up murdering comps? Honestly, in my opinion, they are. Now, here's the thing. They're also setting comps for big cards. Like the really big stuff, like the mantles and anything that's iconic, like Jordans, like that type of stuff. They're setting record numbers for from time to time. Let me give you an example of just something that I picked up recently on eBay. So I've been really getting into the Lorcana trading card game, the Disney Lorcana stuff from Ravensburger. And some of the singles for the playable stuff are pretty pricey. Now, there's people that have actually graded the stuff with PSA. I'm picking up PSA 9s and 10s cheaper than I can get the raw copies of the cards because the auction houses are buzzing them out. It's insane. Like, literally, I picked up a Surfer Stitch. I believe it's like an $8 raw card. I picked it up in a PSA 9 for $3.25. But by the same point, in the sports card market where, cards aren't keeping value due to playability, you're getting crushed. I'm talking like PSA 10 cards of Colin Sexton that I own, that I have listed at like $30, that the most recent sold is like $7 and some change due to it going at auction. So that's the problem. A lot of these auction houses put stuff up 99 cents, no reserve, because they're taking the stuff in on consignment. So ideally they want to make as much as possible, right? So they make more money, but their business model is to turn and burn. They want to get the inventory in and out as soon as possible, so that way they have cash in hand, they can pay their consigners out, and they can move on to the next. I guess on one hand you can also commend them too, that the ones that are blowing stuff out at like crazy low dollar amounts, you can tell there's probably not any kind of show bidding involved with that. But I mean, like I said, it's making it very difficult for cards to really keep value, because right now a lot of stuff is basically comping at their auction pricing as opposed to like what buy it now pricing is on stuff. So you can send a card in, get a 10, and then next thing you know, it's like a $7 or $8 card, which is insane in a PSA 10. So that's just my 2 cents. I'd love to know what you guys think. Do you think auction houses are kind of ruining comps or whatnot? Granted, anybody can run auctions, but the reason I say auction houses is because they literally make a business of doing this non-stop. So the majority of these auction comps we have are probably from auction houses. Now, granted, there are people that do run auctions. Like I know Chef Marte, my guy, does run auctions primarily on a lot of his higher end stuff because, he feels like he gets a better return and he sells through it faster that way. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? I've run auctions on everything from, low end stuff all the way to high end stuff. Just whatever I felt like it made sense. Like there'd be people that actually wanted to compete for whatever that item was. But the problem is when you're throwing up stuff that like there's not a whole lot of interest in, unless people are getting it at that sub $10 price point, it makes it really hard for the auction to really yield the type of fruit that you would want, which then makes it even harder for other people to resell those same cards. Now, you can definitely take advantage of getting some really, really great deals if you're looking on eBay or, like any other auction source like Golden or, any of those other places for expiring auctions. And you just kind of sneak in there and snipe the stuff before it goes, But by the same point, if you're getting a good deal and you're like, wow, I just got that for like 40% under comp or 50% under comp, guess what? Your purchase of that card just set a new comp. So that card's officially worth what you just paid for. So that's what sucks, because a lot of times, I remember back in the pandemic when cards were just blowing up like crazy. I would buy cards and then relist to eBay and sell for more right away. You know what I mean? Like, we're basically making that a lot harder on ourselves because with all of these low-end comps coming through, no one wants to pay more than what the last sold was. And then most of the time, you want to pay less than what the last sold was. So now it's depreciating even more. So these are just a few things that I'm noticing about the market that I'm not a big fan of, guys. And like I said, I'm trying to really move my collection around a lot to things that are not going to be worthless in a few years, because like I've said time and time again, like I've been a collector since I was a kid, 80s and 90s. I think of all of the guys that I've chased after. Man, I remember when Fred Taylor's rookie cards had value. You can get them at any bargain box you find now. You know what I mean? I remember back in the days whenever David Robinsons and Sean Kemp's and Gary Payton's had value in their rookie cards. Again, Hall of Famers you can find in bargain boxes today. So unless the players that we are collecting end up being very, very top tier in their sport, they're probably going to lose a lot of value from today till 20, 30 years from now. And that's just the God's honest truth. In fact, some of the cards we're holding are going to lose value in the next year. Some of the cards are going to be for the next 5 years. It just really depends on the trajectory of the career. Like, for example, look at Andrew Luck. His stuff was outrageous when he was a rookie and even early into his career. The guy retired early. You know what I mean? He had a decent career, but he didn't quite turn out to what he was. You can literally get like RPAs of the guy today that are graded for pennies on the dollar, like a fraction of what people were paying for them. Now, is that going to be Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow one day? Maybe. I mean, I could certainly see that being Tua one day with the concussion issues and stuff like that. So these are things to be concerned about, guys. Like, you have to be smart with where you're putting your money because a lot of these assets are depreciating. But let me know what you think. Do you think the auction houses are to blame, or what do you think is to blame for continual decreased comps? Just mulling this over as I drive to the card show, and these are just kind of my thoughts. Again, leave yours down in the comments section below. Would love to hear what you think about this. Until the next video, may God bless you. Take it easy.